Hey, welcome back to Tony the Technician's channel, and today we will be doing an update on my toolbox tour as well as going over some of my previous tools that I have bought but hadn't necessarily used yet, so I couldn't give you a good review or what I thought about the tools, the pros and cons of them. And then I also have gotten in quite a few new tools that I want to show you, and I'll give you the part number and try and give you the prices and everything. And then I'll show you how I adjusted my toolbox to fit these new tools, because if you've watched my previous toolbox tour, you've seen that if anything that I buy comes in a nice case, like my Easy Red extra long wrenches, they come in a really nice case. I like to keep things like that because it keeps my toolbox organized. So granted, these things do take up quite a bit more space than it would if I took them out of the cases and organized them. But these cases keep my toolbox nice and clean. So instead of doing that, I just reorganized my toolbox to fit new tools. So I'll be going over new tools that I have, newer tools to me that I've just recently started to use because of my small block Chevy 357 rebuild and pulling the engine out of my 85 Camaro. I've gotten to use a lot of these tools, so I can actually tell you what I think about them. And then new tools that I haven't gotten, and then not just tools, but like a couple things that I've had to get for my 357 because of just a couple things that I ran into. So I'll be going over a couple different things. But like I stated in my previous toolbox tour, I will be replacing this Pittsburgh Harbor Freight screwdriver set. Now, this is a pretty cheap set. I think it's between 10 and 20 bucks. It's really cheap, but if this is what you can afford, they do work. They work good. They're just not the best screwdriver set, So I did upgrade from this. I'm probably still going to keep this just because if I need to use something and I'm afraid I'm going to break one of my good screwdrivers, I'll use this set. But I am replacing it with the master set from Gear Wrench. It's a really nice set from what I can see right now. But enough talking. Let's actually show you the things that I've bought, the things that I've actually used now, and let's get on with it. And then I'll show you how my toolbox has changed. It's not going to have changed a lot, but I'll show you my toolbox tour after that. Okay, so the first thing I want to go over are these clip ring pliers that I bought from Tecton. I think they ran about 20 bucks if I remember correctly. But it's a really nice set. They seem pretty nice. I haven't used them yet. But you get 4 pair. The ones that, if I can get this off, ones that are set open, and when you close the handles, it closes the teeth. And then the other ones, these 2 pair, are the opposite. So as you saw from my toolbox before, I had a set from Harbor Freight. It was just one pair of pliers, and it just had a bunch of different heads that you could put on it. And those work just fine, but sometimes the head right here where it actually bolts or attaches, it can be kind of clunky and in the way when you're trying to get to clips. And then another thing as well, these ones are just a lot sturdier and it's quicker. You don't have to switch out any heads. You can just grab the one that you need and be on your way. It actually saves quite a bit of time. So that's the first thing I wanted to go over, just a simple little clip ring plier set. But I can't find the package, so I can't give you the part number. I'm sorry. But mostly everything else I have here, I will have the part number for you and the price. Okay, so this is my other part that I ordered that I need for my engine assembly or when I get it put in the 85 Camaro. This is an oil priming tool. A lot of people back in the day would take apart a distributor, which ruins the distributor. So if you have a junk one, you could save yourself some money. This was 20 bucks with like $6 shipping and handling from Summit Racing. You can order them off eBay, but I got mine from Summit. It's part number 901010, and it was $18.97, and then $6 for shipping and handling. So it wasn't bad, and it's made specifically for small block Chevy, big block Chevy, and a couple others. But I'll show you real quick how it works. So on your engine, on your intake manifold, on the back, where your distributor sits, there's a shaft down in here. That goes to your oil pump. And what this does is it has the little tooth in there that sits on that oil pump rod. And you'll drop it down and find the tooth. There, it's locked in. This ring up top just keeps the shaft straight, so when you hook your drill up to it, you're rotating this, and it's actually pumping oil. It's operating your oil pump, and it gets oil pumped throughout your entire engine. So I just wanted to show you guys that. That's 20 bucks off of Summit Racing, and a pretty good deal. I don't have to tear up my other distributor because both my distributors that I have are working and good, so I'd like to keep one as backup just in case. So that's that. Next thing I'll go over is my Matco 1/2 inch torque wrench. I have used this a couple times, and in my previous toolbox tour I showed you just a quick glance at it. But as you guys have seen from my other videos, if you've watched, I use my 3/8 drive one more than my 1/2 inch one. Unless I use 3/8 on lug nuts and stuff, but it's a little easier with a 1/2 inch. But here it is. Not sure the price. It came with the tools that I got with my school, because I'm going to Western Tech right now. They give you a lot of tools and stuff. But the part number on this, I'm not sure if you'll be able to read that, TRC250K. And it is from 50 foot-pounds to 250 foot-pounds. And then it also reads Newton meters as well. And what's nice, on my other torque wrench, you have a screw that you have to loosen and tighten down here. This one's pretty nice because you just have a pull tab right here, and you can turn it. And then it locks in place wherever you want it as well. I know a lot of people are switching to the electronic ones because they're a lot faster, I guess. I've only used one before, and that was my buddy's. I don't have one myself. So I've been just fine with the click style, and that's my Matco 1/2 inch torque wrench. Now I'll move on to the one that you guys have seen me use quite a bit in my videos for engine disassemble, my engine rebuild, and everything. I've used this thing quite a bit. I haven't had it that long either, and this thing works great. Bruce Allen, I believe, did a video on it, and a couple others. Tecton is a great product. It's great quality for a great price. I'm not gonna say it's up there with Snap-on and Matco, but it gets the job done, and I love the quality of Tecton tools so far, a majority of their tools. So here it is. It's through 3/8 drive, and it's the one with the locking nut on the bottom. It goes from 10 foot-pounds to 80 foot-pounds, which is basically everything that I need for an engine rebuild. It is nice because the clicker is shallow, it's down in the head of the ratchet, and I've had no problems with it whatsoever. It's very accurate, and this is the one that I use mainly all the time. But I'm not sure where the part number is, but it does run around $35, I believe, if I remember correctly. But that's it for my torque wrenches. Now let's move on to a couple gear wrench products that I bought. So here you have the gear wrench 2-piece double X plier set. It's part number 82106. I believe these run about 20 bucks. for both. It's a set, and it does come in a plastic case. And as you guys know, I like molded cases. So I was pretty happy when these showed up. But one of the downsides is it's really cheap plastic. It's not really molded to the pliers. They don't sit in here very well. The pliers are actually longer than the case. And it's just really cheap. So I decided I won't be using this case to sit my pliers in. So that one's out of here, but it is a nice set. Like I said, it runs $20, and you get a 45-degree angle one and just your straight one. Now, I have both regular extra long pliers and these X pliers. These are nice for when you're trying to get in somewhere and you can't expand the handles. You don't have room to expand the handles. These save you room because only opening that much opens the pliers almost all the way. Whereas a normal pair of pliers, you probably won't be able to reach the other handle with your fingers. So these can come in handy when you're in a tight spot, but you also have to worry about if this is going to hit something. But I haven't ran into that problem yet. Both of them work great. I still need to break them in. This one's a little better, but this one's still pretty tight. It needs to be worked a little bit, so it's a little easier to open and shut. But it is a nice set. They do have gear wrench on here, part number 82005D and 82006D. So that's a good set if you guys need X pliers. I would suggest these just because they are good quality and a great price. So that's what I got for that. Let's move on. So I do have a couple pairs of oil pliers and a wrench. This one is made by Tecton. You guys saw me do a little clip on it before in my previous toolbox tour. This one does work good. The thing about these is sometimes you're not able to get into certain locations. This one is a flex handle, so you can get in a little bit better spaces. But if it's, sometimes these can't grab as well, whereas these really grip onto it. You can actually destroy an oil filter with it, but you will get it out. But these are for a little bit tighter spaces, and both pair work great. I've used them both already, and I like them a lot. I do keep everything I use oiled, and I haven't had a problem with it yet. So I think each one of these ran me about 15 bucks. So I'll give you the part numbers. I know I've showed you guys this one before, the Tecton 12-inch oil filter pliers. Lifetime warranty, part number 5866. Like I said, these are about 15 bucks a piece. Here's the gear wrench, Pro Swivel, large oil filter wrench. It's basically all sizes that you'll need. The medium and small ones are actually pretty small. So this one works perfectly. The part number on this is 3943. Comes in this case. It is also lifetime warranty. So that is it for my oil wrenches. Let's move on. So another thing I got was the 4-piece extension set. They are 3/8 drive, and it is part number 81200 Delta. This I also believe ran about 20 bucks. It's a really nice set, came in a nice blow molded case. This case is actually very nice compared to the plier set. Everything fits in here very nicely, and I definitely have enough extensions now, because as I'll show you in a little bit when we move into the toolbox, that I have a crap ton of extensions. Don't have anything really longer than this 12-inch, but I got plenty of extensions. I have wobble head extensions that I also just picked up. So this is a very nice set if you're looking for a little extension set. This one runs about $20, and you get 4 different sizes. You got your 1, 3, 6, and 12, and it's a great little set. Next thing I want to go over is this Mr. Gasket 1-inch carb spacer. Now, when I started to assemble this engine, I went to put my new Holley 750 carb on here, and the back of the carburetor actually hits my T-fitting. Well, luckily, I was already planning on getting a 1-inch spacer, but at the time I just wanted to see what my carb would look like on the intake manifold, and noticed it hit this. So I realized it was time to buy my 1-inch spacer. So that's why I got this. I believe it ran me about $27. And it comes with your studs and washers and nuts. The part number, I believe I chopped, nope, there it is. I thought I chopped it off. It's 6005. And it's $27. It's a pretty nice spacer. It comes with both gaskets. Okay, so you get your 1-inch carb spacer, which is nice, lightweight aluminum. It has this knockout port right here. You can actually punch that out and access vacuum from right there. It's set up for multiple different carb types and intake manifolds, so it's a great open 1-inch spacer. And it comes with both of your gaskets that you'll need, all 4 bolts or studs, washers, and nuts, which is great because obviously the ones with the carburetor are not gonna fit if I have to go through another inch of material. So this 1-inch spacer is about $25 to $30, and it comes with absolutely everything you need in order to install it with your carburetor. So that's another good product I wanted to show you guys. Even though it's not a tool, it is something that I will be using. So I just wanted to show you guys that. So next up, I have these swivel head sockets, which come in real handy. They are also by Gear Wrench. I believe this set was about $30. They're quite, I wouldn't say expensive, but they're a little bit higher if you're looking for something cheaper. I'm sure they're out there, but this is really good quality and for a great price. And this set is 10 pieces. I've already shown you my standard set. This is the metric set. The standard set is 7 pieces. This is 10. These come in handy. I use them on my bell housing bolts for my transmission. Couldn't get up in there even with a regular swivel attachment and a socket. It was too long. These are nice and shallow. You can get in some tight places with them. But also want to show they are etched with Gear Wrench and the size, so 19 millimeter, and then it also has the part number as well. And I've showed you guys these before. These are the 3/8 set. This is my 1/4-inch set. Same thing, and when I bought them, it said Gear Wrench, 1/4-inch, swivel socket set, Astro pneumatic, but I didn't realize that they're Astro pneumatic, not Gear Wrench. And I have no problem with that. They work good. I've used a couple of them, but it does come in a nice little case with the sizings marked on it. I've shown you guys that before. The one thing I don't care about them that I noticed is they don't actually have the size etched in anywhere on the socket. It's just this that's like painted on, or whatever you want to call it. And I am afraid after using them that it will rub off, especially since I clean all of my stuff with WD-40 and a rag after I'm done using it. But I guess as long as you keep it in the case where it's supposed to go, you'll know the size. But other than that, that's the only downside to these, is that they don't actually have the sizes or anything engraved into them. Next thing I want to go over, I think I showed you guys this before, but I hadn't used it. A lot of people have been buying them and saying good things about them. It's the Craftsman T-handle, and it swivels, and it's also adjustable for length where you want the handle at. So that's pretty nice. and it's got the adapter here if you want to use this part as a handle to get more torque on something. But I was actually able to use it on my engine pull and engine rebuild a couple of times, and I have no complaints about it. I got it on sale for $20 or $25, so it was a pretty good deal. It also comes with the adapter for little bits like these. This also comes with it, so it's a pretty good set. 20 or 25 bucks for both of these, but that was on sale. I'm not sure what the full price is for them, but that's it for those. Now I want to move on to a couple of the newest things that I haven't used yet, but I'm about to unbox them for you and show them to you, and we'll compare them to some other things. Okay guys, so the next thing I got that I wanted to show you was my 20-piece master screwdriver set. I told you guys I was going to be getting a better set. This one ran, I think, $65 or $70, but it's something that I really wanted, so I made the purchase. Here's the part number, 80066. Also, lifetime warranty gear wrench. This is a really nice set compared to my other screwdrivers. I do like this Jeg set that I got. It's nice, but one thing I did notice when using the Jeg screwdrivers, I like to clean my tools like I stated before, and they get scratched up. That's no big deal. But people that use the sizes like that, I'm not sure how many people actually go off the sizes of screwdrivers. I just grab, by eye, look, see what would fit the screw or whatever, and use it. But if you're one of the people that uses the size markings on the screwdriver, these do rub off pretty easily, not just from cleaning them, but in use. Just by using them, they start to come off. It's not a big deal. I mean, the screwdriver obviously still works, and these Jeg screwdrivers, they do work well. These ones, this is the cheap Pittsburgh set that I showed you guys before. It is a decent screwdriver. The shaft is a little thin on a lot of their screwdrivers, and the magnet on these are garbage. I'll show you that in a minute. We'll do a test with all the different screwdrivers. This is also another Pittsburgh screwdriver set. The magnet also sucks on this one. But in general, the screwdriver works fine. I mean, it is just a screwdriver. But this was just a free set that I got with a purchase of something else. So, not complaining about those. And then, like these micro screwdrivers I'll get to in a minute, just talking about the end caps, the swivel part, and everything like that. This is from the Pittsburgh set. And the thing that I don't like about this is, well, of course the back is really cheaply made. The entire screwdriver is cheaply made. But the actual length of the screwdriver end itself is really short compared to others, like this one and the ones in here. But let's move on to actually testing them with a screw. Okay, so I'm just going to go through with each one of these and try and pick up this screw. It won't pick it up. So that's the Pittsburgh one. I think the set's like $9. You guys saw that. So it's a cheap set, but the screwdriver works fine. Next, we'll use the Jegs, which has a pretty good magnet on it if I don't shake and knock it over. But as you can see, the magnet works fine and it picks it up. It's pretty strong. Then moving on to the other Pittsburgh screwdriver. This one works, decent. It's not as bad as this one, but obviously not that strong. So that's the downside to those. Let's go ahead and test these gear wrench ones to the Jegs, because the Jegs one is my favorite so far. Try and keep them all the same. So this has got a really strong magnet on it also. So I really like these. It comes in a very nice blow molded case. Everything fits nice and snug. It's a nice blow molded case. It's not cheap like their plier one. As far as the stubbies, if I can even get one out, they're nice. And the thing I do like about the Jegs ones, it's a cheap set as well. It's only like a 7 or 8 piece set, but the rubber grips on them are really nice. You can really grip the screwdriver. And then the gear wrench has these little notches you can grab. And this one's rubber, but it's like a cheap rubber. And then this is just cheap hard plastic. So the Jegs and this gear wrench are really nice. I'd rate the gear wrench above the Jegs. But moving on to the precision screwdrivers. These are both flatheads, so let's grab a flathead from over here. You can tell the length of the gear wrench is much longer than the others. It's got a bigger handle, a little bit bigger handle. Nice rubber grip, just like the Jegs. But the part that rotates on the back is much better than the Jegs. That's the only problem I have with the Jegs precision screwdrivers, is the rotating part on the back. And then this, I mean, this is just crappy. I mean, it'll get the job done, but compared to the others, it's just not that great. The lengths of the shafts are also different. This one is very short compared to the others. I'm not even sure if these are magnetic, so that's nice. So that's it for those, but I'll show you the entire case over again. So this is the 20-piece master set from Gear Wrench. Very nice rubber handles. Got these little grooves in it to get a good grip. The engravings are really nice. I like that. They're a really nice looking set of screwdrivers. And as well as all your main screwdrivers, just like Snap-on and the higher brands, they do have the actual part right here that you can put a wrench on in order to get some more torque on the screwdrivers. So that's really nice. And my other screwdrivers do not have that, so I guess I haven't really came across having to use this part of the screwdriver, but I'm sure it can come in handy. So that's the screwdriver set I got, around $60 or $70, 20-piece set. I'll let you guys know how I like them after I've used them. But they also have really nice engravings on the shaft of the screwdriver that has the size and the part number for each and every one of them. And they all fit in the case nice and snug. So let's move on to the next set that I bought. Okay, so my next purchase was the Gear Wrench 7-piece mixed pliers set. And this ran about $60 as well. The part number is 82108. Once again, lifetime warranty. And here they also come in a nice blow molded case, unlike the pliers the X pliers like I stated before. Everything fits nicely in the case, so even though this does take up quite a bit of room, I do love to have my stuff organized and looking nice. So some people might not care about that, but that's something I do, and I'll continue to use these as long as it looks nice and fits well. I believe each one of these cases are about 14.5 by 14 inches for both of them, around those dimensions. So here you can see it has the part number and Gear Wrench engraved on it. It's a little tight still. They still need broken in. Nice big cutter on this one. The handles are nice. The black seems to be a little bit, well, it's all actually rubberized. At first I thought the black was just the only rubberized part. It is like a rubberized plastic though. It's not completely rubber. Adjustable wrenches. They're not the locking adjustables, they are just the normal adjustable pipe pliers. But I like the ends of these. They grip onto nuts and bolts a little bit better than the straight pair, but they both work great. I'll let you guys know what I think of these. Each one does have the gear wrench and part number on it marked. Some nice long needle nose pliers, even a gripping part at the bottom right after the cutting portion. These ones seem to operate really well. They're pretty unlike these ones that are still snug. They need to be used a few times. But like I said, this set costed about $65, I believe. So I'm pretty happy with this purchase. It's a really nice plier set. And let's move on to how I fit everything in my toolbox compared to how it was laid out before. Alright, so here's my toolbox. You guys have already seen it in my previous toolbox tour, and not a lot has changed. It's basically still the same, and my plier drawer right here is quite disorganized right now because of the new gear wrench set that I have in there. But I did order a pliers rack, so hopefully when it comes in I can get this drawer organized. So let's just go through once again. Still got all my fluids over here for building an engine and everything that you would need, and some engine paint, car cleaning stuff, just household stuff. Up there I keep my oils and grease gun and everything because I don't like to keep that in my toolbox. This toolbox hasn't changed. This is still cheap sockets, cheap wrenches, both metric and standard, and then my ratchets that I use, but my more expensive ones are over here. But these come in handy. Still, I use them quite a bit. But that's basically stayed the same. And moving over to the toolbox, I'm not sure if I kept my impacts up here before, but recently receiving more tools, I've had to make room in drawers and just decided to keep those up there. But in the first drawer, I don't believe this has changed. It's just tape, vacuum adapters, knives, pick set with a extendable magnet and mirror. And then you got your razor blades, some batteries, knife, markers, and pens. And here you still have your wire brushes, RTV, and digital caliper. Here I still have all of my extra long hex bits, Torx bits, and triple squares. I'm still waiting on my other Torx bit set because I ordered a tamper-proof set, but they sent me non-tamper-proof. So I contacted them and they're sending me a new set of Torx because these are not tamper-proof. And then I will be ordering the gear wrench. I think it's 82 or 84 piece bit set, which is Torx and hex and all of those. It comes with short and extra long, so that should be a nice kit, but it is pretty expensive. It runs about $100. So this top drawer is now my screwdriver drawer, and actually removing that Harbor Freight set, it did actually save room. So here's my new set that I just showed you guys. I took apart my DeWalt little kits and lined them up in this direction. So I got my drill bits and adapters over here, along with normal bits, some Torx bits, some impact sockets, more Torx bits, and then this is my little Titan set of basically a lot of the bits that you would normally use. Then I got my adapters for my 1/4 inch DeWalt impact. They're both the 20 volt. The 1/4 inch one is the brushless version. That's just the normal 20 volt max. I got my ratcheting screwdriver here and my jig set that I showed you guys previously, which I really like. I've used them quite a bit now, and they are good screwdrivers. These are just the older screwdrivers that I had. Got some micro screwdrivers and adapters in here as well. Then I got my Allen keys up here, the jigs, precision screwdrivers, and that's it for my screwdriver drawer basically. But I do like how I still have a little bit more room here, and this is a nice snug fit in the drawer. Here's my electrical drawer. I don't believe anything in here has changed. Still have these cheap ratcheting screwdriver sets, and I've used them a couple times, mainly this one, and it works really well, so I don't have any problems with it yet. I did move my other C-clip pliers up here because, as you'll see in a minute, my plier drawer is quite a mess right now. So here's the plier drawer. This gear wrench set is a nice fit for the drawer. It's got about an inch back here, but it takes up basically the entire drawer. And I got my oil filter wrenches in here as well. Got my vice grips made by Cobalt. Used them a couple times, they work good. Haven't used the needle nose ones, but I'm sure they work fine as well. This is just a cheap Pittsburgh set from Harbor Freight, which now that I have the gear wrench version, I will probably just put these in over here or put them aside because I don't really need them anymore. Maybe I'll give them to a buddy or something. Here's the Tecton C-clip pliers that I showed you guys. It's a nice set. The Easy Grip pliers, or the Easy Red Kiwi pliers. I really enjoy this set. It helps when you're trying to grab something and you can't see what you're doing with a normal pair of pliers. These get your hands out of the way. And this one's got an extra long nose on it, so you can reach in some pretty small places with it. Then here's the X gear wrench pliers. Haven't used them yet, but I'm sure I will. Well, I used it once to remove a throttle cable and it worked just fine, so I mean, it hasn't been put through a lot of work though. Here's just a set of Pittsburgh mini pliers set, but it's actually a really nice set. I'm happy with this one. These are just long hose pliers and normal long needle nose. And let me show you a comparison of the gear wrench compared to this. You can see the gear wrench is actually quite a bit longer. It's about 2.5, 3 inches longer than the normal pliers I have here. So they're pretty nice. My plier rack should be in here in the next couple days. So, and it's the wire rack where you can cut it to fit your drawer. So I'll probably do one fit from here to the edge of this case, and then maybe another short one back here. And hopefully that holds all my pliers. Because I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I don't like clutter or anything looking like this. Let's not look at it. Then my wife actually made me this, which I thought was pretty cool. It's just a little magnetic strip with my channel's name on it. So I was pretty happy about that and figured I'd stick it on my toolbox. Then you got my wrench drawer. It hasn't really changed. These are all Tecton. Same with the stubbies. I think for everything, not the Easy Red, but these, you could get that for like $130 for all of it. Because this large set, that was like $85, and the back set was $50. So it's a pretty good price, and for quality, they're great, especially for the price. They're very nice chrome job on them, very nice engraving. The size is on both sides, but the Tecton is only on the one side. Here we just have my Easy Red extra long ratcheting wrenches. They are reversible as well as locking flex heads. I love these. They came in handy when I was pulling the engine out of my 85 Camaro, which is finally done. Now I get to go through the process of rewiring everything. So here you got your standard and your metric. Standard over here, metric over here. That's it for the big drawer. Over here, same as before, I have my gear wrenches, both standard and metric, from I believe 10 millimeter through 19 and 3/8 through 3/4. Then I also showed you guys my gear wrench extension set, which came in this nice blow molded case. So that fit there. Then over here, we have all of my metric sockets. These are the 3/8 drive flex head sockets, 1/4 inch flex head sockets. This first row right here is all 1/4 inch. Second and third row are 3/8, both shallow and deep, along with some Allen head keys sockets. Here's where I keep my T-handle and my 3/8 breaker bar. Then here, these first two rows of impact sockets, those are 3/8 drive, both shallow and deep, from 8 millimeter all the way through 19 and 21 for the deep. Then this back row of impact sockets is 1/2" drive from 8mm to 19mm. Then you have all your 1/2" regular sockets, both shallow and deep. Mainly all of these are DeWalt. My DeWalt sockets did not fill up the entire rack, so it bothered me. So I had to fill up the rack with a couple Craftsman over here. Craftsman, I believe one of them is Power Built, and this is Craftsman, but a majority is DeWalt. And so far, after all the work that I've done, I really like the DeWalt, especially compared to when I first started working and I had a Stanley set. I cannot tell you guys how much I'm enjoying Gear Wrench, Tekton, DeWalt, all of those. I really like them. And then at school, where I'm going to college, I actually have Matco tools, and they have really nice tools as well. But I guess some people really like the Matco gear wrenches, but I actually have a problem with my Matco gear wrenches with the actual gear parts sticking quite a bit. And I haven't had a problem with these gear wrenches yet. So right now I prefer these flex head gear wrenches over my Matco gear wrenches that I have in my toolbox at school. Then you have your 120 XP solid ratchets, both 1/4, 3/8, and 1/2. And then over here you have your 1/4" flex head ratchet, 3/8 drive, long ratchet, flex head, and then this is a 3/8 stubby flex head ratchet. Then here's your extra long 1/2" flex head ratchet, which is really nice. You can get a lot of leverage on a bolt or a nut with this compared to a normal solid ratchet. But I do like their design of the 60 tooth gear and the 2 claws, so you get 120 positions. So it's like 120 tooth, but with the strength of a 60 tooth ratchet. So I've pried some crap off with these, and they've held up and they've been amazing so far. And plus, for people like me that like these cases, these are really nice. I really enjoy those. But that is it for my metric drawer. Let's move on to the standard drawer. So here's all my SAE. Just some hex key sockets, Torx, just a few of those. And then once again, you got all your 1/4" drive here, 3/8 shallow, 3/8 deep, your 3 spark plug sockets, and all your swivel heads. Then the same thing goes for my impact sockets. These 2 rows are 3/8, the back one is 1/2", which they go from 3/8 to 1 1/16, if you can see that. And then the 3/8 drive goes from 5/16 to 3/4. Then all my 1/2" regular SAE sockets, they're all 6-point except for these 3 up here. I could not find them in 6-point, but they're all Craftsman. I believe 1 Power Built as well. Then moving over here, it's just a cheap Pittsburgh pass-through socket set, but this thing has worked great. I have 0 complaints about this. Not all Pittsburgh stuff, well, I guess it's cheap, but it works great. So some Pittsburgh stuff is phenomenal for the things that I do, and I will continue to use it instead of spending 3 or 4 times the money on the same set for a different name. Here I have my E-Torx and SAE swivel head sockets. Then I've actually grown on my extensions. So as I showed you in that drawer, I had that gear wrench extension set. Then I have all these 1/2" drive. This is a 1/2", 12" 1/2" drive, 6" swivel head, and then just a 3" and a 6". Then another 12" swivel head extension for the 1/2" drive. Then here I got 2 3/8 drive 12" extensions, one with a locking mechanism. Then I have the swivel head 6", normal 6", and then 4 different 3" extensions for the 3/8 drive, a locking, a swivel head, and then just 2 normal ones. This one doesn't have a grip on it, so I don't use it all that much. Here's a, what is this, like a 10 or 12" swivel head for the 3/8 drive. And then I have my impact extensions here, along with the impact swivel right there. And then all over here is my 1/4" extensions, ranging from 12 inches to this short little like 2-inch. I wouldn't even say that's 3-inch. That's a 2-inch extension with a swivel head. So a lot of extensions right there. I don't have any long extensions like 24 or 36-inch extensions, but I could easily make them. Then moving on over here, more extensions, both 3/8 drive and 1/4" drive, along with some flex adapters and spark plug sockets. So I think I'm good on extensions for quite a while. Obviously this drawer hasn't changed if you've watched my previous toolbox tour, but here's my nut driver by DeWalt. I believe both of these sets ran about $30, and it has both standard and metric. And then it comes with a lot of different bits. It's not ratcheting, but it is a nice set. These are also stackable, so you can clip them together and take them with you if you would like. So that's pretty nice. Down here, I still have my ratcheting T-handle by DeWalt, which comes with long extensions and short ones. And then my gear driver by Matco, and it has multiple different extensions and adapters for it as well, and then some bits. And then it also comes with this flex head or flex extension. So it's a pretty nice set. Got it for a great price. I don't actually think I've used it yet, so I'll do a review on that after I've used it. Down here I still have my pry bars, which I have used quite a bit, and they come in handy. I guess a lot of people were saying they had problems with the handles on these breaking, but I mean, unless you're striking them, I haven't had a problem with mine. Their file set I haven't used, but I will be for cleaning up my engine bay. And here's another little pry bar. Here's the Tekton 12-piece punch and chisel set. I've used that actually quite a bit. I've only used like 3 or 4 of them, but the ones that I have used have worked great and held up just fine. So I have this hammer set, which I believe I paid about $50 for the entire set, and I've used all of them except for this, and that's it. And they've all held up great. I used this to remove my exhaust because it was a pain in the butt. So I knocked it off with that. Worked great. I got a little extension claw right here with a level and a couple tape measures. And down here hasn't changed, I don't believe. I have my voltmeter down here. I showed you that in my previous video as well. It's pretty nice for the price. I have no complaints about it either. I also have gloves, eye pro, a face mask, a magnetic tray, and all my automotive books. There's also drill bits in there and little stuff that I like to keep away from all the other drawers. Here's kind of my specialty drawer. I showed you guys my Tekton 3/8 drive torque wrench and my 1/2-inch Matco torque wrench. Below here is a cheap serpentine belt tool, and I'll just go through here. This is that cheap Pittsburgh screwdriver set that I showed you guys earlier. I am keeping a hold of it just in case like a buddy needs help. I can just grab that one and go. But I got some quick disconnects, compression tester, brake bleeder, Noid light, pulley puller, harmonic balancer puller. My Wendt Dremel, I showed you guys it in my previous video as well. I love that thing. It was a great price. I think it was $30 and it came with everything. Then these haven't changed at all. Still my power tools, and then I have my drill down here as well. But that's it, guys. I mean, besides that, I'm still working on the engine. I have it basically all assembled. I don't have the carburetor distributor on right now. I'm going to put those on, obviously, after I install it in the car. But, as you can tell, I've got quite a bit of work to do. I have a lot of wiring to pull out of the shrouds and rerun wiring, decide what I'm going to use, what I'm not going to use, and figure it out from there. But I should be getting my plier rack in soon, and I will cut that to fit the drawer, and then we will have a nice video to do after that. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. Share the video if you would like. Thank you guys so much for watching and supporting. I will see you guys next time. Okay guys, just wanted to throw this in because I did end up getting it in the mail today. This is my pliers rack in order to organize the plier drawer that I showed you before. It is 30 inches long, 2.5 inches tall, and I think it's like 5 or 5.5 inches deep. I'm not too sure, I can't remember. But either way, it's going in one of my bigger drawers. So you can cut this to size. That's why I have my Dremel out. I just cut it. I didn't have anything else I could really cut it with, so I did cut this. So I can fit this rack right in here, holding pliers, and then I also got this rack as well, which I will either keep right here or maybe I'll put it this direction. I haven't really decided, but I'm gonna go ahead and get my pliers put in the drawer and see how I like it. Okay, so I got the plier rack in and all the pliers in. I moved my oil wrenches up here with my screwdrivers. Then I put my Allen keys in with my electrical drawer. And then my pliers now look like this. Still have the gear wrench set, the Kiwi Easy Red pliers, and then starting with the smaller pliers, and then my clip pliers, my cheaper set, all my adjustable like pipe pliers, all my long gear wrench X 45-degree angle, then just the normal long needle nose and 45, my hose, clamp pliers, then my vice grips, and a couple crescent wrenches. So I think it organized the drawer pretty well, saved me a lot of room, minus being able to set this in here. I might find somewhere else for it. I might just leave this here. Not too sure yet, but I'm happier with it. It's less of a mess than it was before, so that's how my plier drawer looks now. But that's it. Nothing else has changed. If you guys have any questions or comments, please leave them below. Thank you guys so much for watching. And here in a couple months, I guess I'll do another update because I have a few more things that I want to get, but I'm not sure when I'll be getting them. So thank you guys once again. See you guys next time.